Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes, with the exception of the appointment of the probation officer, which I'll say no because their failure to comply with Act 57 of 2020.
Mr. Notstein?
Had a requirement prior to hiring.
Well, that's.
Oh, okay,
an
that's
issue
because it's under
courts and,
court.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I understand your.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Correspondence, there is none received. Advertising for approval, authorize the advertisement of the invitation to bid for Carbon County 2022 multi-location paving project with pen bid. This will be to repave various county parking lots, which will include the gravel portion of the large parking lot by the railroad, the correctional facility entrance road and parking lot, various beach parking lots at Mock Chunk Lake Park, and the boat launch A driveway at Mock Chunk Lake Park.
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yeah,
Area Agency on Aging. A request was received from the Area Agency on Aging Administrator for an agreement with Advanced Data Corporation Service of Evergreen, Colorado, to provide background checks as required by the SHARE program at a cost of $36 per report. The cost will be reimbursed by SHARE Housing Grant to the Pennsylvania Department of Aging. The agreement shall continue until terminated by either party upon giving 60 days written notice to the other.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Agricultural easement program for adoption and execution, the resolution and certification of county match funds for the 2022 agricultural conservation easement purchase program to be submitted to the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture in the amount of $26,280.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Children and Youth fiscal year 2021-2022 purchases service agreements with the following providers as listed and as per the attached rates.
Motion to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Communications 911 for approval and execution, the statewide interconnectivity grant in the amount of $144,105.50 from the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for the 5 projects as listed.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Correctional Facility for approval, agreement with Train of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania to remove and replace the heat exchanger in the female unit at the correctional facility in the amount of $6,631, including a 1-year warranty for parts and labor under CoStar's contract number 008274.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Elections. A request was received from the Elections Assistant Director to accept a proposal from Armstrong Development of Westchester, Pennsylvania, to mail approximately 7,500 of the Carbon County's permanent voter mailing kits for the 2022 election to voters that requested a permanent mail-in ballot. Total cost of option 1 with no return postage is $3,525. This does not include the nonprofit fee of $265.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Pocono Mountain Visitors Bureau for approval. The commissioners, in consultation with all relevant stakeholders, reevaluate the terms of Act 18 Hotel Occupancy Tax Contract with Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau, Carbon County Chamber and Economic Development Corporation, Official County Tourism Promotion Agency, and the government of Carbon County.
Move the table for 2 weeks. Chris Barrett, the director of PMVB, just this morning sent some financial data that I had requested after the meeting last Thursday. And since that came in around 8:30, 8:45 this morning, there's not an opportunity to review those financials, which by agreement we have access to.
I'll second that.
Mr. Honor?
No.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
No,
Discussion.
There was, well, there's really no motion. Discussion
Table.
on the table, but there's a motion to table was denied.
Then it's up for.
Then you can make a motion. and make a motion. Well, the motion that will stand
Right.
as it is. Okay,
Yeah.
So was there, so there was
Move to approve.
Okay.
Yeah, there we.
It was a move to approve.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the first motion was a move to table,
Right, and that
Right.
failed.
and that
Then he
failed.
made a motion.
Yeah.
Is there a second to the motion to approve? Hearing none, motion dies for lack of a second. Okay, next item is the post office boxes for approval. No later than January 31st, 2022, a working group comprised of representation from departments under the Commissioner's office, row offices and courts, be established to assess the viability and develop a roadmap for the gradual elimination of non-essential county government's 23 post office boxes at the United States Post Office in Jim Thorpe, which currently costs the taxpayers in excess of $55,000 annually.
Move to approve.
Is there a second to the motion to approve? Hearing none, motion dies for lack of a second. Next item, the state of the municipality for approval. The Carbon County Board of Commissioners develop a policy of invitation that formally requests municipal elected officials to attend and present annual state of the municipality updates to the Board of Commissioners during its weekly public meetings.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Hearing none, motion dies for lack of a second. Purchasing for acceptance. A request was received from the purchasing director to accept the proposal from All State Septic Systems LLP of Bangor, Pennsylvania for sewage removal services at various locations at Mock Chunk Lake Park. Total cost is for 15 cents a gallon from Monday through Friday, 20 cents a gallon on weekends and holidays. The term shall commence March 1, 2022 through February 28, 2024.
Motion to accept. No, go ahead, Chris. No.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
A request from the purchasing department to accept a proposal from Sykes Brothers Exterminating Incorporated of Tamaqua, Pennsylvania for pest control services at various county locations. Term will commence March 1, 2022 and terminate on February 28, 2023, with the option to renew for 2 additional one-year terms with an annual rate of $4,564.40 per year.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Arner?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
A purchase service agreement for approval and execution, a purchase service agreement under a Sourcewell contract with Edwards Business Systems of Wyomissing, Pennsylvania for an HP Color LaserJet managed copier at a cost of $1,920.13. 0.01446 for black and white, 0.0734 per color for copy bill quarterly, located in the Fiscal Data Processing Management Office. Maintenance will be fixed for the first 3 years.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The Sheriff's Department for approval and execution. An addendum to the renewal agreement with Teleosoft 2022 contract for reoccurring annual maintenance and support service for the term of January 1, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, at a total cost of $14,155. This represents an increase of $760.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
The Solicitor's report?
Thank you. Correctional Facility Medical Services for approval and execution, an agreement with Prime Care Medical Incorporated of Harrisburg to provide comprehensive healthcare services for all inmates of the Carbon County Correctional Facility. The services include mental health, dental, medical, and related healthcare services, along with staffing and electronic record keeping. The term is for the period of time, May 2nd, 2022 through April 30, 2027. Pricing is based on an average daily population of 200 inmates. If the average population exceeds 210 for 2 successive months, a per diem charge of $2.67 per inmate will apply for each inmate over 200.
Move to approve and execute.
Second. Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Genesis Correctional Facility Termination of Medical Services for approval. Authorize the solicitor to proceed with providing 90-day written notice to terminate contractual agreements with the following vendors for providing services to the inmates at the correctional facility as listed.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Mimic for approval, authorize a 90-day written notification to the managing director of the CCAP Pinnick program of the county's withdrawal as a full member of the program effective May 2nd, 2022, but remain as an Act 22 service recipient and continue to pay the annual cost as outlined in Act 22 of 2011.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
4476 Susquehanna Street for approval and execution. Change order number 14 to the contract with JBM Mechanical of Nazareth to remove the lost day charge to the county, change order number 10, at a cost of $5,056.48 for a new contract total of $381,012.69.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
4476 Susquehanna Street for approval and execution, change order number 15 to the contract with JBM Mechanical of Nazareth to cut and cap 3 existing water services for 76 Susquehanna Street building at a cost of $21,271.56 for a new contract total of $402,284.25. The work will be completed in the spring of 2022.
Motion approved and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Legal services for acceptance of proposal from Newman Williams, PC of Stroudsburg to represent Carbon County in an action involving Judicial Watch Incorporated. The fee for the services provided by Attorney Gerald Geiger would be $250 per hour.
Move to accept.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Parks and Recreation for approval and execution, special activities agreement for use of Mock Chunk Lake Park, submitted for St. John's UCC Boy Scout Troop 777. Monday night meeting, 6 to 8 p.m., and occasional weekend campouts at Camp Apple Tree.
Move to approve and execute.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
Proclamation for approval and execution, first extension of the declaration of disaster emergency due to heating unit failure at the Carbon County Correctional Facility, authorized the 20th day of January, 2022.
Motion adopt.
Second.
Mr. Honor?
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
yes,
School Choice Week for adoption, proclamation recognizing January 23rd through the 29th, 2022 as School Choice Week in Carbon County.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. Arnott,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich?
Yes.
Mr. Notstein?
Yes. Nothing further.
Any further business? Hearing none, commissioners reports, Mr. Arnott.
I do have a couple things. I didn't report on the veterans' food lately. And it's doing very well. I think we started off with 10 veterans and they're already up to 40, which it looks like we might even be looking for another location throughout the county. It's every Wednesday of the month. It's from 10:30 to 12:30 is pickup. Signups are done at the same location. So if you have a friend that's a veteran, bring them along to sign up. The distribution site is American Legion Post 314 Veterans Avenue, Lehigh. The funding is provided by the PA Veterans Trust Fund and the Subaru Foundation. I wanted to give a little bit on the prison heat. I don't know if anybody knew about that, but we were out of heat. And we have to be thankful for the people that are working for us in EMA and at the prison. And Pima had provided a self-contained unit to us to heat the prison, and Train will be coming with parts hopefully next week, and the repairs will be done on Thursday, the 27th. I just wanted to say a couple things about maybe some of the agenda items. The one was for the issue with JBM where we did not accept that their payment, that it's going to be changed over, that Boyle and them are going to take care of it. But the other agenda item is where Jim Thorpe Borough is requiring us to do a full disconnect on the lines that are coming into the buildings at the 44 and 76 building. And one other thing, I know that some of these other agenda items for the State of the Union, my feeling on some of these subjects is townships and boroughs have supervisors, councilmen and women that make decisions on the issues that are in the prospective areas of the county. I know that there's a move to do home rule, and I feel this is a forum for home rule. We have council of governments, and any municipality that has questions is more than welcome to contact me as I have done in the past. Thank you.
And Mr. Lukasevich?
Yeah, a couple items. First and foremost, I was disappointed to see that the PA court grants turbine appeal to Atlantic Wind for their planned turbines in Penn Forest Township. As I think most people are well aware, I've been a strong advocate for those opposed to wind turbines, both in Penn Forest Township and in Packard Township. I do recognize that although requested to take a position by Packard Township in March of 2019, the previous board took no position. But again, I stand both personally and professionally as an advocate for all the municipalities against any turbine project such as these, that one would impact the return on the environment. And I know we have representatives here from Carbon Chamber who are well familiar with this document. Also, unquestionably, any turbines in Carbon County of the two projects that were planned are clearly contrary to the spirit of the Middle Carbon County Comprehensive Plan, of which Penn Forest is a signator, and of course, Carbon County's Comprehensive and Greenway Plan. So again, I'll stand with the folks at Penn Forest Township, Palmerton Hunt Club, and others who continue to oppose the turbines in Carbon County. I want to mention two of the three agenda items. They had also previously been agenda items in January of 2020 and 2021. Carbon County actually has, understanding the PO box concern first came up through a right to know request while I was a private citizen. Looking at it, in 2018, 2019, it was $55,000. Was the estimate of what those PO boxes cost the taxpayer. So we're talking the rental fees plus the lost labor associated with having basically 21 mail clerks in Carbon County. That's almost as many lawyers as we have that are being paid by the county. No offense there. We have a lot of solicitors and stuff. You're right. But we have a lot more COs and deputy sheriffs, but nonetheless, you know. So looking at the issue, right, there's 21 PO boxes, right? 21 employees check those PO boxes. Takes more or less on an inclement weather day when you don't want to hang outside, it takes about 15 minutes to check those PO boxes. That doesn't include the time that's taken away from other activities as you prepare to leave and then you come back and resettle into your task. They do this for 251 work days, right? I can say 79,000 plus minutes. That's about 1,317 hours, or the equivalent of 38 weeks of work. But what's the real cost? You know what? The rental of the PO boxes themselves, about $2,600. But the real cost comes in the salary. Taking the average salary of an employee plus benefits, you'll end up seeing that about $52,000 to $53,000 is lost by having 21 mail clerks. Let me tell you that the county already has a mail clerk, an individual who has that responsibility. I can see no reason, given what I've heard numerous times before in this forum, that we need to be conscientious of taxpayer money, why we should not invest in the time to assess elimination of unnecessary PO boxes, be it 1 or 21. The law library has a PO box. I'd ask the lawyers here in Carbon County, how many of them spend time there? What are we receiving? A journal or two? Well, couldn't that be combined? Is that necessary? We have a multitude of PO boxes that could be eliminated, combined, and allow us to allow the United States Postal Service to do their job, which is to deliver the mail. I think we need to talk to the postmaster. Can mail be directed to our buildings or to a quote unquote mail room, which for all intent and purposes right behind this room exists? What PO boxes are unnecessary? Are PO boxes right size? There's 4 categories, 4 sizes of PO boxes. How about this? Domestic relation has a size 4, which is the largest one available. Compare that to voter registration, which gets more mail than any other office, as a size 3. So and again, there's cost associated with not right sizing PO boxes. There's some issues that need to be answered, but they can only be answered if we assess it, right? You have to invest the time to save money and resources of the county taxpayer. State and municipality, I've always said, commissioners don't run the county, we run or administer or manage county government. However, there are no stronger potential advocates for our municipalities than the Board of Commissioners here in Carbon County. I know that for sure. However, we can never assume we have full situational awareness of the issues, the challenges, or the priorities. I attend every COG meeting, right? Council of Governments. I'm telling you, I still have not received full awareness of the priorities, issues, or challenges facing our municipalities. And I don't want them coming to us simply when there's an issue, because we want to foresee those and mitigate the possibility of those issues or challenges becoming larger than what we may be able to handle to handle, manage, or assist with. I can see no greater opportunities, and at least the representatives of municipalities that I've canvassed, informally and formally, see a great opportunity for them to come before this board and in more or less in a manner associated or similar to the concept that has been outlined, and the press has been provided copies of the concept for the opportunity to present a safety municipality. They see great opportunity in the ability to take advantage of not only being in front of the Board of Commissioners and highlighting those issues, challenges, and priorities, but also the notable presence of media that we have here that they normally do not have. You go up to the northern tier, you may see the Journal Herald, you may see the Standard Speaker represented. You go down to the southern end, you may see the Morning Call, likely not anymore, but you may have a Times News Rep. Here, in this particular meeting, we always have, by exception, maybe not, we have the Times News, Standard Speaker, Blue Ridge Cable, and at times Fox, and then PBS from the Lehigh Valley. What a great opportunity for the municipalities, townships, and boroughs to get their message, issues, and concerns out to a larger audience, not only to their residents in their municipalities, but the taxpayers at large who are supporting their efforts and responding to their challenges through the taxation process at multiple levels, county, state, and federal. So again, I remain disappointed in both of those, and I'll continue to drive forward. And in the second meeting of January 2023, these same motions will be presented once again. School Choice Week. I would ask parents to continue to recognize the different opportunities they have other than public schools to educate their children in the future of Carbon County, be it homeschooling, virtual schooling on their own or through programs, or our church related schools. That's all I have.
Let me start off with the second issue that Mr. Lukasevich decided to bring up again. And on the local municipalities, no municipality has ever been denied the opportunity to come to this Board of Commissioners as long as I've been here. As far as the COG, it is an ideal opportunity for our council of governments or our local municipalities that work together on several issues. The sad part about that is only half the municipalities do participate. And I would love to see 100%. Now, there's 24 counting the county as a voting members. Only about 8 show up, I'd say, on a regular basis. So only about a third that are really active, and it seems like an extremely small group trying to make a difference in it. And I proposed this COG several years ago. I met with Senator Udechak at the time, went to one of his programs in another county, and got more press out of it than they did, because I talked about how working together brought us a grant for almost $1 million for radios for the county through the LSA, working together to get this grant. And so I talked about those things. And I don't think our local municipalities see the benefits of working together, because a lot of them do have common grounds. So, you know, I'm more than welcome. Any municipality would like to come and have time with us to come and have time with us. So one night a week or one night a month they meet here, last Tuesday of the month, or the fourth Tuesday, I should say, of the month, because we picked a night that most of the municipalities did not have township or borough meetings or planning commissions, et cetera. So they certainly have that opportunity. And maybe today we, through this conversation, we could spark more interest in the cog. And one of the things that they tried to accomplish was get all the municipalities together in doing a bid. And we had people come in from various organizations already and bidding of the trash removal for the county. If we could work together, we could all save funds if we all work together and getting a bid together to do it all at one time. And there's other avenues such as that. The purchase of equipment, unfortunately, did not work out well for us. We did get grants to purchase a street sweeper and a zipper for milling of blacktop and that. I believe that does get used occasionally yet. I no longer attend the meeting. Mr. Lukasevich attends those meetings, but unfortunately, the sweeper issue was too many different people operating and did not know how to operate it. It became too expensive. So there were a lot of things that they have been working on to try to work together. They had the people in from the Census Bureau and I'd say almost on a monthly basis, they have someone coming in and trying to talk and see how we can get together. And I'm saddened by the lack of participation of a lot of the people on the local level. So enough of that one. But they're more than welcome anytime to, give us a call. Hey, we have an issue we'd like to talk about. Fine. As far as the mailboxes are concerned, 2 years ago, I did go out and I can't find my packet this morning and looking for it, but we were looking I talked to most of the departments. And the issue is that a lot of these people, I don't know how you get up to 55,000 because a lot of these people are row office holders or employees that stop on the way to work or go to the post office first thing in the morning to pick up their mail to start working first thing in the morning. So it's a timely issue for a lot of the offices. Most offices did not want to see that go away. The courts, I suggest, and I think I would suggest to you, you had 2 years now, you go out and you do this survey and talk to these people and how you could save that money. I'd suggest you start with the courts. You say about let the post office do their jobs. Well, they are going to come to the building. They're not going to go door to door to the different offices. We still have to have a post office drop. If it gets dropped at one location, now our mail clerk now has to separate all that mail. It becomes timely as well. On certain days, certain times of the month, certain times of the year, such as elections is the big one with the mail-in ballots. Everything is timely, has to be processed in a timely manner. It's large volumes, and to have an area in this county that you can just drop off all these mails. It's not the only case. That is the worst case scenario, I would say, but I'm sure in the court notices, et cetera, the assessment office and several of the other offices have times of the year like the cleaning green and homestead exemption and all that, where the volumes go up all of a sudden. And it is a burden on the mail clerk at all as well. So the volume, yeah, timeliness, I just, I understand what you're saying, and maybe, and most of these people that you're saying that 15 minutes, how many of those do you see outside for 15 minutes taking their morning or afternoon break? That is their break a lot of times to get out and get some fresh air. And I certainly think that is important to the health and mental stability to a lot of these patients, because sometimes you just got to take that little break, and a couple of minutes is going to help.
So Commissioner Nostine, just to add on to that, what we pay to the mail is for the boxes is $2,672 a year.
Yep.
For what we purchase the mailboxes for.
That's right. The other
Thank you.
53,000 more or less is salary benefits and employer contributions based upon the equivalent of 38 weeks of man hours.
And I'm not saying there might be a couple of them, maybe
Yeah.
2 or 3, and I think we did eliminate 1 or 2 back at that time,
Yeah.
2 years ago.
Yeah. Remember your days in the Air Force when you went to the mail room and the mail clerk?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, a little bit different circumstances. It's not the military.
No, but they do have efficiencies.
Yeah, one of the things that Rocky brought up was a prison update. You saw we had to extend the emergency declaration for the prison. The heating unit that was brought in by Pima is working well. So that's keeping the unit warm for the female block. Everything's going good right now, but by Pima Title 35, we have to renew that declaration every 7 days. So it was the good news Rocky brought up that right after our prison board meeting yesterday was the fact that we did get some information, emails that, you know, they do have some of the parts and they may be able to get that up and running even better. As Commissioner Arner mentioned, we did get one price quote from a company that would be able to submit or deliver a similar unit to supply heat. Should Pima have an emergency, a higher priority that they need that equipment back immediately, and we are waiting for a second quote. And believe me, it's not cheap for the month. So hopefully we'll have that unit for a couple of weeks, and I hope by the 27th it comes in. Our next week is our meeting day, so I would think that we'll have to extend that next week until we know we are up and running. It's not going to cost us anything extra to do that. In fact, according to the people at the prison, when I got that call that Friday night when they delivered it, and it was up and running, that declaring that emergency helped to get that piece of equipment a lot faster. So I don't think a lot of the municipalities realize the urgency sometimes, or some of the things they can do to expedite matters when they have emergencies. And I will mention one more thing on that. I think it's February 24th. I don't have leave my phone in the office for the meetings, but the notice should be going out from emergency management for the duties and responsibilities of newly elected officials. And it talks about in this seminar, which will be held at EMA. Hopefully it'll be live and we can still hold it due to COVID, but it's to inform the newly elected in particular, and those that have been there for a while or never been there. I would strongly encourage them to attend, and what their responsibilities are and how to go about doing things of this nature through emergency management, and maybe declaring the declarations if we have a major snowstorm throughout the county, how each municipality submitting an emergency declaration to the state helps us to get aid if needed, especially if it turns around to be a federal disaster declaration. It certainly speeds up the process and makes everything easier for all of us. So that's all I have today. We do have another meeting, so meeting adjourned. Retirement board should not be too long today. We do not have any need. Yeah, so we can, we'll hold off on news media until after that. Okay? Meeting adjourned. Okay, meeting adjourned, and I'll now call the monthly meeting of the retirement board to order. At this time, what I'd like to do is have a swearing in of Kevin Zelinka, our new treasurer. Kevin, identify. I state your name. I, Kevin Zelinka, do solemnly swear that I will diligently and honestly administer
diligently and honestly administer
the affairs of Carbon County Retirement Board,
the affairs of the Carbon County Retirement Board,
and that I will not knowingly violate
and that I will not knowingly violate
or permit to be violated any of the provisions
or permit to be violated any other provisions
of the county pension law.
of the county pension law.
Okay, sworn and subscribed before me this 20th day of January, 2022. And we'll sign Chairman, this is signed for our chief clerk and our administrator and board. Okay, at this time I'll turn the meeting over to our secretary treasurer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome new member, Mr. Zelenka, to the retirement board. First, we'll start with the approval of the minutes from the previous meeting held December 16, 2021.
Motion approved.
Second.
Mr. Zelenka,
I abstain.
Mr. Spurcheck, yes, Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes.
Are there any guests concerning retirement board business? Okay. Report of executive sessions, there weren't any held. Next will be to ratify the warrant. That would be checks number 40754 to 40763 and direct deposit number 7015104 to 7015503 for the month of December.
Motion to ratify.
Second.
Okay, Mr. Zelinka, Mr. Spurcheck, yes, Mr. Arner,
Yes.
Mr. Lukasevich.
Yes.
Mr. Notstein.
Yes.
The next will be the retirement activity report for the month of December. And we had a number of retirement refunds and no other activity, although I would like to mention the passing of a former recorder of deeds, Andy Snow. He'll be on the next month's report. And on behalf of the retirement board, to express our condolences to his family. He had served 12 years in the recorder of deeds office. The monthly benefits total $454,706.21. Refunds $20,380.56. Total disbursement of $475,086.77 for a portfolio value as of December 31st, 2021 of $98,863,364. And it's some more good news because that actually is the most recent high point of our portfolio valuation, which is great to have at the end of the year because that'll also help us when the actuaries calculate the retirement contribution for the coming year. I also did just some quick calculations for the board and the public. When I took over as controller, the fund value was around 80 million. So in 2 years with that gain, it's an approximate, just some rough math gain of close to 12% per year. And that is with a relatively conservative mix of investments. And of course, each month, as anyone could see, the payout to take care of our retirees and any new retirees or people that are leaving the county could be between $450,000 to $500,000 a month. So when you calculate that in there, the fund overall is doing very well. Any questions on that? Next would be correspondence. I did not receive any correspondence. Next would be solicitor's report.
No report.
Thank you. Investment managers or other reports, receive nothing from Marquette at this point. They always come to the meetings to report on the quarterly report, usually 2 months after the quarter. Anything under new business?
Mark, just one comment. It seems we still have about 17,000 going in. Is there anything that's going by check anymore? Or we're 100% direct deposit?
We are direct deposit. The only checks are typically the first month of a new retiree or the payout, and then it starts direct deposit.
Okay,
Yes.
thanks. Yeah.
Or in the rare event when someone has a compromised account,
Yeah, I saw that. too.
then they get a check until we get their information. So their new information. Thank you. No other reports to report there. Anything under new business? Anything under old business? Anything under further business? That's all I have.
Okay. Hearing no further business, meeting adjourned. All right, Dominic, we're gonna put you on first. You wanna
We can let the
introduce your
ladies,
guest?
we can let the ladies go first.
Okay. Amy Miller.
Hello.
Morning.
A few questions that I have. the action that you guys did involving the Judicial Watch Incorporated, where you hired the attorney, what is that about?
So this Judicial Watch sued the Department of State and several counties in Pennsylvania election directors alleging that they were not in compliance with the National Voting Act by not knocking enough people off of the voter rolls. So it's something that they've been filing nationwide against different states, and we happen to be in the mix with that. So we'll see how that develops. It's sort of like the Trump action that was filed last year that we had to defend.
Okay. In regards to the PIMCC program, why is the county withdrawing?
Okay. So I think this one, under Pimic.
Yes.
Other our insurance people for the prison and handle claims, et cetera. And what the prison board has decided to do, we have had many issues in the past, I'd say, with having the availability of medical personnel, nurses, pharmacy, psychological availability. And we were far short on trying to meet our needs. We've had issues in the past with people showing up to perform those functions. It's going to be a huge expense to the county. It's been something we have, the prison board, not just the county commissioners, the prison board has been talking about for some time, looking into, and what the pros and cons were. And the biggest one, we will have better coverage, basically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We do not have that now. It's going to additional personnel for coverage on weekends, et cetera, more telemedicine opportunities and things of that nature. This is a 3-month process after the recommendation of the prison board to get all our agreements in place. We now have to give Pimic the 90-day notice. We were opting out of their program because the other company, Prime Care, has their own pharmaceutical company, or that they are their own pharmaceutical company that they deal with. So there's a lot of agreements, and the doctor's agreement, and all those issues have to be terminated, and Prime Care will take place then in approximately 90 days.
Okay.
And this is more or less like it's under one umbrella. We were always going, well, like we had to do a contract with the doctor, and then we had to do other contracts, and it's making it much easier for us, and it's going to provide a better service to us to save money at the facility.
And one of the things- one of the things we ran into recently, should bring it up, but the doctor we had has a contract with another facility and is not available during the day when he's working at the other facility. So, it puts us in a bind then.
So do you have an official number for how much this Prime Care Medical will cost, or is that?
No, we have a base number. The basic number for the 200 inmates is a monthly charge of $97,902.82.
Okay.
About
Thank you.
1.2 million a year, right?
Just shy of that.
Yeah.
Just shy.
I don't know if you heard that amount.
Yeah, just.
Just
Yes.
short of 1.2 million.
And one other thing, may I have copies, please, of the personnel reports as well as the School Choice Week proclamation?
Of course. Sure.
And that's all I have then. Thank you.
Okay, Kelly.
Good morning. I would also like copies, and I believe Amy's covered what I was looking for, so I thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. Okay, Dominic.
This multi-location paving project, does that money come from the parking fund to do all these county parking lots?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, in fact, it was a lot more than we expected.
Yeah.
We got the estimates, so we had to cut some of the projects off for this year. And we're looking at probably about $1 million towards the project. So, and it's all parking lot funding.
Yeah, okay. And then as far as the reasoning behind it, other than the obvious of just blacktopping more ground, as far as, is there like a tourism part of this that we're trying to achieve?
Well, I think on the upper end of the parking lot or up towards the bridge, it is black, or it's not blacktop, it's ground. Some of the issues we have up there, people don't know how to park or they park far apart, you know, if putting paving and blacktopping that area and being able to put lines on will help organize the paving a little bit better. Try to, we're removing the split rail fence up there and putting in a regular guardrail because they've been in a while and won't last much longer anyway. So we included the trail repairs, and part of that's not major, but some of the drainage issues. So that and the other parking lots are just in real bad shape, but we picked out the priority areas such as the prison and this upper area are some of the biggest areas that need repair, as well as a couple places at the park.
Dominic, I would mention, right, tourism is a great thing, but it is a double-edged sword and it comes at a cost to infrastructure, wear and tear. I'll give you an example. 2021, there were 2,900 campers at Mock Chunk Lake Park. So reservations, cabins, tent site. Only 16% of those, so about 465, were actually county residents. So the rest were visitors. Comes at a cost infrastructure. Fortunately, we have the revenue from the parking lot. Fortunately, we do pull some hotel tax money back to support that infrastructure. But again, there is a notable wear and tear that occurs, and we have to keep up with it.
My last question, actually, to piggyback on that last statement of yours, with the hotel tax, as far as reevaluating it, I know you spoke about it maybe a month ago. Once you review these financials, I guess, what's the goal to bring all of these different entities to the table to try to, like, what are you looking for in a reevaluation?
Well, first and foremost, I'm not optimistic my colleagues agree, because 2 years previously, they didn't second the motion. Nonetheless, you know, I retain the position that Carbon County does not receive sufficient discretionary funds back to meet the wear and tear and the needs to keep up our infrastructure that supports tourism from this. I'll give you an example. We had 100%, over 118% increase in hotel tax income, right, to PMVB. Well, how is that money being utilized today? 100%, 118% increase. Are we continuing to promote more tourism? And I suspect so, and that's good, but it comes at a cost. We have to find that sweet spot, right, of use of money. Mock Chunk Lake Park doesn't break even, right? It comes at a cost. And we have to make up for that revenue shortfall. And it shouldn't simply fall on the county taxpayer, right? We need to share that burden with our visitors, and this is part of that.
And obviously you don't feel optimistic, and I'm assuming because there's a contract involved that either will be broken or legislation that is hard to change.
No, I think, you know, again, and I all due credit to the previous board. They negotiated a tough contract, and I think they've done pretty darn well with what was negotiated. But tell you what, I think we can do better. I don't think we should be comparing ourselves to the other counties, because I'm only responsible to the 64,000 residents in Carbon County and their interests. And I want to do better by them. And this is part of that. If I could get an extra $50,000, $100,000 in revenue to put additional camping sites at Mock Chunk Lake Park, to increase the maintenance that we need to do out there, you know, those things would be positive.
Here's the other argument, from the other side that I got previously, especially by the board of directors from the Pocono Mountain Vacation Bureau. Under the previous agreement we had prior, Carbon County was doing real good. We even had an even better deal. The board of directors, the executive board of Pocono Mountain Vacation Bureau, which we had very little, and we did manage to get a person on that board eventually, but they were furious. Every time I went to one of their meetings or anything, I'd get my case jumped on. Why are you getting so much more? And what the Pocono Mountain Vacation Bureau did, the person in charge at that time went to the other counties first and got an agreement. And it was not consistent with Carbon, what we wanted to do. And that was my argument back there then, and it took quite some time to get that agreement. And to me, I want to be fair to the other 3 counties involved as well. We should all get our equal share, be treated equally, and I felt they took us last because we had the best deal, and they wanted us to just sign off on what the other counties did, and that didn't happen. We did manage to do, I think, good compared to, not as good as we had before, but it was the best we could do at the time. And unless we have the 4 boards of commissioners on board to do that, it's not gonna happen. So the law is, we're very specific on what those funds can be used for. So that's my point right now. My stance is it has to be unified throughout the 4 counties. They all have their expenses just like we do.
That's it for me, gentlemen. Thank you.
Okay.
I want to introduce you guys to Rachel. This will eventually, unfortunately and fortunately, she will be my replacement. Yeah, I put my notice in. This would be my last commission. And I've had some of my best moments in this room. This is a really cool place. So I really thank you guys for everything. My last day is next Wednesday. So I won't be there for next Thursday, unfortunately. So very sad, but very excited. I'm going to CLIU, the special education provider. I'll be running their public relations and media department there, or at least being a part of it, so.
We wish you success, Dominic, and maybe we should have your guest stand up and tell us a little bit about yourself and your name again.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Right now I'm the Pocono producer for the TV13.
For Monroe Pike and Wayne.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to move into the reporter position in the next month or 2.
Well, I hope you're with us longer than Dominic and many of the others we
Yeah,
have.
4.5 years, that's such a short amount of time. So
Okay.
that's all, thank you, everyone.